Hey, if you're new to my face, my name is Dagny. Let's discuss finding your niche in Ghana and/or Africa if you're focusing on another country in Africa. It's great to do your research before you decide to move, but I think that primarily just gets you on a personal, internal level to feel like, you know what? I think I can do this. None of that research compares to the knowledge and the experience you will get when you're on the ground. So the biggest tip really is that yes, you're thinking about it. You need to commit to coming to visit. You need to commit to visit more than a weekend. You need to commit to get a feel of the place physically. People can tell you as much as they can. You getting your real feely, see it with your eye, feel it with your skin experience. You will only get that if you actually come. You need to come with the mindset, understanding you need to be patient and adaptable and be open to learning. What I have found that's worked for me, even though the way I interact with people is not some like major underground secret strategy agenda, kind of thing to take over the world because I'm Jojo. It's not that. This is just my personality. I'm really interested in culture. I'm interested in learning about culture because I'm all about showcasing and protecting culture. So for me, I know I have a lot to offer, but I can't impose it or force it on people. When you're open to learning, that allows you to gather the data that can help you further your initiative, your product, your service, and things like that. A lot of this data is not online. Right? Compared to the West, where you got all these surveys and census and all those types of things where you can see like full analyzed with numbers and graphs, the demographics, consumer behavior, education, politics, all of that. Africa in general is not there yet when it comes to those sorts of things, even though it's encouraging to see there are some startups who are focused on that aspect of information. So a lot of the information you need is going to come from word of mouth, providing a space wherever your presence is for people to feel comfortable enough to let you know what, this is the challenge we're having for this industry, for this concept, for this experience. And that's how you can then figure out, okay, then how can what I'm bringing fit and solve this, right? Because that is the point of whatever you're pushing. If you're trying to do a service, you're trying to solve a problem. For example, when you're buying, let's say you are buying fabric. The way it works in Ghana is that fabric businesses have an Instagram page. Some of them do have a physical shop and the Instagram page, while some of them are only the Instagram page. And they list the fabrics that they have. Every now and then they do a flash sale or a bundle and things like that, but it's just images of each fabric. And what you're supposed to do is that you screenshot which one you want and you send it to the WhatsApp number listed on the page. And you text asking, do you still have this fabric? Whoever is on the other end of the business, now it could be the business owner, it could be the business owner's assistant, whatever, will text back if they have it. Yes, we do have it. How much do you want? And let's say you want 3 yards. Okay. They will respond, the 3 yards will be this amount. And then they'll ask, where do you want it delivered? You let them know. Now the delivery, street addresses are still developing in Ghana. So delivery technically can be anywhere. It could be your house. It could be your office. It could be a restaurant you're sitting at that moment in time that you think they're going to be delivering. Like it could be anywhere. Basically it can be anywhere as long as you can give the proper landmark and directions. Then they'll give you a delivery fee depending on how far or close it is to wherever they are. And they ask you to send the mobile money to the number that they provide. Now mobile money is something that needs to be set up on your phone. I use MTN, so they have mobile money. You maintain a wallet with your bank account there. And you send the money to them, which immediately they receive. Sometimes it could be delivered the same day if you ordered it in the morning. Other times it'll be delivered the next day. Then either on the same day or the next day, a gentleman on a motorcycle shows up where you told them to and gives you your fabric. Boom, transaction complete. I mean, I always do a deal of when I get it, I say thank you, it's beautiful or something. Sometimes the business themselves will follow up. Did you receive it? Is it okay? Other times it's like you just move on, whatever. That's the trend. That is retail in that regard. It's not only in fabric, it's also in shoes, cosmetics, accessories, It can even be your food, like anything you can think of works in that way. How else would you have known about that if you were not open to learning? Now, with all this knowledge, let's take it to the next step, being adaptable. You have now figured out where your expertise and your lane and your industry is, how it actually works on the ground. I feel, in my mind, there's like 2 branches where you can actually now pursue and do your business, okay? One is, let's continue with retail because for some reason that's what's on my mind. One is you create your product, produce your product. It's shoes, it's accessories, it's clothing, it's sunglasses, it's jewelry, whatever. And you got your branding, you got your logo, you got your nice packaging, you know, the bag has your logo on it and all of that. And you're delivering it, money's coming in, fine. Also, you also are taking note of what the competition is doing. And you're like, wow, what if instead of just Instagram photo and then you text me, where there is a little bit of a risk because if Instagram decides to just delete the entire page or do some other update that causes you to not be able to do what you're doing, your business is at a high risk because it's completely relying on Instagram to be what it is today forever, right? What if I created an app for my store? It's free to download the app, but that's where you can see the product with multiple photos and even a 3D video, and you can interact with me through the app to get what you want. And you do your purchases through the app, even though it's still mobile money I'm using. But all of that it's my platform though, right? And I update it however I want, right? And then I have even more back-end data to see what are people clicking on, what are people having issues with navigating it, what do people prefer, so I can, you know, maneuver my business to be, this is what you want. Always be on the cutting edge of what the customer wants. And you just keep on leveling up through there. And while you're doing that, sure, you might inspire your competition to do the same thing, but that's not your focus. Your focus is your business, that's it. The other branch is still with retail. You have your own product. You can code and you know how to do the app, but you're also seeing that, well, but there's so many other great products out here that are made right here. But they either don't have the funding or the resources or anything else to get to the next level. So why don't I create a platform, a one-stop platform for all these vendors? So I developed the app where the customer downloads one app and has access to all of these vendors. And the vendors either pay me a fee to be on the app, or I get a commission from the purchases that are made on their products, while they get the rest for their own product. And then while that's happening, it's like, wait, we can take that another level. Because all these vendors are great, but they also are having difficulty competing on a global scale because everything is made by hand, one by one. They can't keep up with the orders. Neither can they maintain the same quality for every order. So why don't also develop like a mass producing factory or something where we can do training and maintain that same high quality of these products, and then be able to do 2 forms of orders, where if you're local, you can do the mobile money and it gets delivered to you like I explained, or if you're outside, abroad, you can order it with your credit card or whatever and it gets shipped to you by DHL. And now you've basically created another version of Amazon.com or Alibaba.com or AliExpress.com, is that what it's called? So do you see, those are the 2 in my mind, those are 2 branches of like, you do your own thing and you are making an impact in doing your own thing because now you're able to provide your product, which is of good quality, and you possibly are providing jobs for the people and you keep it moving. Or you focus on actually, there is an even bigger void within, yeah, you created your business in an industry that has a much bigger void that could be made even more effective and efficient. And because you have the resources to do that, you do it. It will take time for either branch to truly see the positive results of their effort. The next layer to that is work and networking, socializing culture. Ghana's culture is beautiful. There is a notion that everyone must know their place. And what determines the place is a variety of things that I'm still learning. It's not necessarily socioeconomic. It's not necessarily religion. It's not necessarily tribes. It's not necessarily what church you go to. But then it's kind of is influenced by those things at the same time. Why isn't people only from this region get this type of job? And people from this region can only dress like this. And people from this region are considered in the hierarchy a certain place without even knowing that. Why do you only befriend people from one place and don't befriend people from another? Yeah, for me, I'm like, I'm team, I want all of us to win. I'm team, but I also want to be secured in my bag. So whatever jeopardizes that, I'm not endorsing it. Now, English is a predominant language, yes. But you will find that we're not all speaking the same English, okay? So if let's say, for example, you're trying to ask people like, okay, so, what do you think of this? What did you think of this experience? What do you think of this product? And the response is, it's not bad. How do you find your work? What do you think about the work you do? What do you think about the industry you're in? What do you think about the experience you are having for yourself? Oh, we thank God. We are humble. Hearing that does leaves you a little flabbergasted, like, I'm not sure. I was taking notes and I'm not sure what to write down. So if it wasn't bad, does that mean it's good? Is it halfway good? That's where, again, patience and adaptability comes in, because it can be very easy to get frustrated. Also do try your best to not generalize people. I have been frustrated. I have been ripped off. I have been lied to. But I don't claim, well, that's the whole country, so, don't even come. I would not say that. I would take note of, just because, you're excited that you're in a place where everyone looks like you, and so you automatically like, oh, these are my brothers and sisters, yes. Be wary of that. And it's a really delicate balance to not be like so guarded that you don't want to speak or talk to anybody, and then being so like, hello, yes, Wakanda forever, and wonder why nobody else is responding to that. The next thing about networking is established groups. There's plenty of groups and clubs and organizations that a lot are word of mouth based, or church based, or school based, all right? Where you go if you went to school in Ghana, particularly if you went to high school or college, more so high school in Ghana, that is a group that you are in like for life. Ones that I've taken note of, I'm a part of. Diasporan is for young professionals. They do have happy hours, mentorship meetups. Their emailing listserv has access to all kinds of different forums of people looking for things and stuff like that. There's also the African American Association of Ghana, primarily WhatsApp groups, and then they do the majority of their meetings or events at the W.E.B. Du Bois Center in Accra. Then there's also groups based off of interests. There's a group called Ghana Must Read. It's a book club based off of if you're interested in reading books, right? And discussing those books. Now, each of these that I've listed, there's plenty of others as well, depending on your, there's even like a table tennis group, all right, that actually like practices for competitions and things like that, so for any interests that you have, it's more than likely you could possibly find a group there that has been established for people who have that similar interest. Overall, I think that's what makes it exciting. You're coming to a space where there is a blank canvas and you can paint whatever you want on it. That's exciting and frustrating, because one is exciting because like, yo, what the freedom? And then it's frustrating, it's like, wait, so where do I find the paint? And why does this paint look different from this paint? Talk about industries in Ghana, all right? The ones that are buzzing, people have been talking about and stuff like that. Ghana is really trying to push entrepreneurship and encourage people to be entrepreneurs. Now, majority of Ghanaians are entrepreneurs. So it's not like this is a brand new thing, right? Instead, though, is this push trying to create a space that's actually supportive, an infrastructure that is actually supportive for entrepreneurs. Agriculture is important, all right, because Ghana's agriculture has been slacking. They can't feed their own population on their own. They do import a whole lot of their food. Now, yes, we can get into a whole conversation about Monsanto's and the seeds and the soil and all of that, but farming, agriculture is important, and a niche that has a whole lot of space for you to create the outlet and be the plug. And I'm talking about all aspects of agriculture, not just put on some overalls and get working, all right? I mean, also, okay, connecting, it needs to be bigger, all right? Farms tend to be quite small compared to, again, I'm comparing it to America, because America, on a global scale, America got agriculture down pat. Have you seen how big our farms are? You see the machinery we be using? Come on now. And you see now how, like, right now we're having to throw it all away. Their lobbyists have put them under a contract where if they gave the food away, they wouldn't get as much of a bailout. Priorities, but I digress. If globalization was really about everybody who does what they're good at to its full capacity and provide that to everyone else so that, well, no one goes hungry because there's more than enough food. Now that you're giving it for free, everyone's paying for it. But that's not how globalization works. Online education, mobile financing, telehealth, e-commerce, and any type of product is needed. Real estate. So be open to using your skills in something that you possibly didn't plan for in the first place. Those are some of my tips on finding and possibly creating your niche in Ghana and or Africa at large. Make sure to go to my website, dagnyzenovia.com, to check the blog post for more of my insight, as well as all the links and resources that I mentioned. Also, feel free to share with me, either here in the comments or on the blog post itself, or reach out. Are you looking to move or work in Ghana? Have you? What have you found that's helped you? Also, living and working in other parts of Africa. I personally am looking forward to seeing more of Africa. So let me know, are these sorts of things, do they translate in Senegal, in Egypt, in South Africa, in Ethiopia, in Kenya, in Rwanda? Like, you know, like, is it completely different? Do you need the same mindset? What industries are popping off over there? Let's share. Feel free to reach out and connect with me on Instagram and Twitter. And as of this video, I have officially opened and started a public Facebook page. So for those of you who either spend more time or feel more comfortable with Facebook, you can now connect with me on there. The link for it is below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are keeping safe.